Mastering this unspoken function in Counter-Strike will drastically improve your game. This function is peeking. Whether you're swinging out mid-dry and dying, or you're trying to make some space over at B by entering, peeking can dictate entire games. But before we can talk about how it can improve you, we need to talk about why is peeking important. Peeking properly not only guarantees kills, but also opens up space for your teammates to come in behind you and assist you, just generally supporting the team. Now, because this game that we play is so beautiful, there's something called peeker's advantage. Now, because of subtick and ping, the person who peeks will always have an advantage over someone who's holding, unless it's on land. This is an example of how peeking is so strong. Right here we have phase rain. It's going to be killing Apex in a couple seconds. This is an example of how strong it could be to fully utilize peeking and peeker's advantage. Now this is on land. Now watch this again from point of view. You see he peeks, and it's not the hardest shot in the world for him to land. It's a very simple jiggle. He goes in, he goes out, and Apex is standing completely still. Now if you look at the same shot from Apex's point of view, you'll see that he had little to no time to react to this shot. So enough talking about why peeking is so important. I'm going to show you how to peek. Now, every single engagement, every single angle, every single position, every single map, it depends so much on those factors. And so it can change throughout those variables. But a general way to peeking is you always want to peek, most of the time, as far back from the angle as possible. Because there is trajectory in this game. The closer you are to the angle, the longer it takes you to see them. And not only this, the farther you are from the angle, the easier the flick is to land. For example, a flick like this to this bot over here, a flick like this is much smaller and much easier than a flick like this. This takes a lot more of a mouse move. It may seem very minuscule right now, but if you're really trying to improve at higher levels and with a lot more time playing, these small variables make a huge difference. So if we keep this trend of peeking as far back as possible on every single angle, you will notice that the game gets significantly easier. You'll also notice that you can pick and choose your engagements how you like them. For example, if I peek like this, there isn't much to pick and choose right here. I'm picking top con as well as anyone playing on top of the bench and offing like this. I'm exposing myself to more angles while also setting myself up for a harder flick while also giving my entire shoulder before I can even see them up until here. And at this point, around here, they can already see my shoulder. Versus peeking farther back from the angle, something like this, I can control the engagement. It's a lot easier to peek in and then peek out. Peek in and then peek out. You can control your engagements, and this helps so much with not committing. If you find that you have an issue with committing to engagements or committing to sprays too often, this is a good way to fix that, is by controlling your engagements by peeking farther back. So some things you want to try and avoid when peeking. You want to try and avoid holding W or S. You only want to use your strafe keys to peek. For example, if you're peeking out onto a site like this, first off, I'm very close to the angle, so they're going to see me before I can see them. And if I peek out while holding W, I don't have a lot of control over my movement. So if I do this, it takes a long time, very difficult, very hard spray to land. Versus peeking an angle like this using only A and D, which is a lot easier to control. Just like that. It's very simple, very easy, and I set myself up for an easy shot to land. There's a lot of different situations in which you should be doing different peeks and utilizing them. So I'd like to show you a couple different peeks and how to perfectly utilize them in certain situations. First peek I'm going to be showing you right now is a close peek. Now you're probably wondering, why would I ever want to peek close when you've been saying this entire time to peek as far away from the angle as possible? Like I said earlier, certain situations and certain positions are much better for different peeks, and one of those situations right here at ramp would be a close peek. So at ramp, you'll notice that there is a light overcast right here, following with a huge shadow. So this is one of those situations where they're going to see your shadow so much sooner than they're going to see you, so it's not even worth peeking as far back as possible. For example, I've placed this bot right here, and I can see his entire shadow. Now, if he were a moving player, I would be able to see it moving, and obviously, I know this is a player. I'm going to have the jump on him, and I'm going to win this engagement because I know exactly where he is and when he's about to peek. Versus if he were to peek close, I can't see his shadow at all, so I don't know when he's going to peek or if someone's even here at all. Another very useful type of peek is called a jiggle peek. It's when you give the opponent your shoulder before you swing or just dedicate to a peek. For example, in window, you can actually jiggle your shoulder just like this. They're going to see your shoulder and you're hoping to bait them out. Or you can jiggle farther back like this, and it still has the same effect. Then once you've jiggled your shoulder a little bit, you can commit to it and swing. So another aspect of peeking that's very important is crosshair placement. If you don't have good crosshair placement, peeking isn't going to be that helpful to you. So you need to make sure whenever you're peeking, keep your crosshair at head level. Keep your crosshair where you think they're going to be at all times. You can utilize your crosshair placement and your peeking, your movement, put it all together, get some really strong frags where they don't even have a chance to react to you. You could also combine all these components and put them into pre-fire. You pre-fire, shooting before you peek, just like this. Now another type of peek is called a wide swing peek. A lot of people also call it like a Zontaris peek. A wide swing is just when you don't jiggle, you don't necessarily peek one angle at a time, it is when you just swing. So wide swing, let's say I know someone is snipers, this is what a wide swing would look like, just like this. And sometimes you can actually throw your opponent's crosshair off guard because of how wide you're swinging. So instead of peeking it like this, you peeking it like this might throw them really far off guard. A lot of the times the player in window will be pre-aiming you to peek a lot closer than you're actually going to swing. They're going to have to make an adjustment because of how far you swing, and it could guarantee you a kill. Now the thing about wide swinging is you never want to do it unless you have info. Majority of the time, wide swinging is just really bad and a dumb idea and an easy way to get yourself killed because you're peeking a lot of angles at once. So if I'm wide swinging without purpose right here, I'm exposing myself to every single position on the site. It can be under balk, it can be default, firebox, triple, ticket. There's a lot of angles I'm peeking at once. So if I'm going to be wide swinging, it's because I know where one person is and I want to throw them off guard. So for example, if I know he's under balk, I want to throw him off guard. So I'm going to swing him like this. That's a wide swing. Another type of peek is a crouch peek. Now kind of like wide swinging, you are dedicating yourself to an engagement. When you crouch peek something, it's very difficult to get out of. You're basically saying, I know where this player is, I'm going to try and take this engagement and win it. So an example of a crouch peek would be just something like this. Very simple, but used so that the enemy who's pre-aiming your head has a difficult time adjusting to your crouch. So in certain situations it is good to crouch peek, other situations it's not. Much like any other peek on here, you want to make sure you're doing it with info and not just willy-dilly and good crosshair placement as well. So crouch peeking an angle like this can be very strong. If someone's right there, it's a very easy shot for you to land and it's a hard shot for them to land. So always make sure you're peeking far back and just crouch peek just like this. Now, one type of peek you should almost never ever do is a shift peek. A shift peek is when you peek an angle while shifting. I've never been in a situation where this is even plausible. There are situations where you should be silent while you're peeking, but there's different ways to do that. And shift peeking is an easy way to set yourself up to die, for them to see you first, and to give yourself no time to react. For example, if I'm shift peeking under balk, this guy is going to see me so much longer before I see him. Now, if I want to peek this angle silently, I still can without shifting, right? So I'll come into this angle, and if you press AD and you spam it, you can peek all of these angles without making too much noise. Not like this, but instead just DA, DA, DA. And this entire time, I haven't made any noise. So if I'm coming out A ramp and trying to get out silently, I can make it happen just like this. Now obviously, you still have to use shift to get to these transitional spots, but at spots where you think they might be, you should not be pressing shift. So to summarize, when peeking, don't peek too close in most situations. Don't shift peek, don't wide swing without info. Try to peek as far back from angles as possible, and one of the biggest ones, don't press W or S while peeking. Anyways guys, that is the end of the video. This video has been a long time coming. I've been working on this for a stupid amount of time. A lot of it's because of procrastination. But yeah, that's the end of the video. I appreciate you guys so much if you made it all the way to the end. I do plan on making more videos like this. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know some things I could have done better, some things I could have worked on. But yeah, I know there's some mistakes, but I think this is a good first video to put out, and thanks so much for watching. Thanks guys.